my lovelies, welcome back to another video. Today I thought this would be a good chance to start getting through my TBR. So welcome to my first ever TBR Takedown. I want to start with a dark romance first. Excuse the ice lolly, it is so hot. I have literally just gone back from work and I work in a greenhouse. Not literally, but it does feel like a greenhouse. It is a garden centre, so yeah, it's very hot if you can imagine. So I'm thinking the first book we get into is Scythe and Sparrow. I need to finish this series eventually and I need to get through my TBR, so that is why we are finishing this series. I enjoyed the first two quite a lot actually, so I have high hopes for this one. So let's just get straight into the video. I'm gonna stop waffling so much. Hello, I thought I'd give you a mid-book update. So I am just over halfway and it's been a hot minute since I read the last two in the series. So getting into this, I kind of forgot what happened in the other ones. Excuse the fluff flying around, what the actual hell? I think it's because it's so sunny, it's all just lighting everything up. Yeah, so I actually forgot like who the characters were in terms of the other book, and it's all coming together now, which is really good because I had no idea at the beginning. But it's all clicking, it's all good. So I am, like I said, just over halfway so far. It's really good. I'm actually enjoying this a lot more than I thought. I'm really enjoying the plot so far. I think the characters are also really likeable. I'm loving Kane. He's really funny, and I'm not sure about Rose. I think so far with the females, they all seem to blend. I don't know if that's just me, but so far all the female characters in this series, they all feel the same, you know? I don't know, because Rose felt different in the second book. She felt different in there, but she feels the same in this. The guys are different, obviously, the brothers, because they all have completely different personalities and they all have completely different professions, but yeah, I don't know if that's just me. Let me know what your thoughts are if you have read this. I reached the part where it just gets spicy, and it's honestly, I was not in the mood the other day when I was reading, and I basically skimmed 2 chapters because it was full on literally nothing else. And I was so not in the mood. I was like, this is way too long. 2 chapters of full on smart is just too much. So that's a little bit annoying. I know that I've gotten into a dark romance and obviously it's going to be smart, blah, blah, blah. Fine with that. Just not 2 chapters worth. I hate it when people market their books as a dark romance and market it as smutty and stuff when all it is just like 5 chapters worth of nothing but pure smart, and then the rest of it is just not. Like, there's nothing else. It's just those chapters. It really, really bugs me. So other than that, I am really, really enjoying it so far. I think I do prefer this. I think the second one so far is my favourite. I did enjoy the first one, but the second one so far is my favourite. But yeah, I am loving this series so far. So far so good. That's what I can say. I can't say much else. And yeah, let's just hope the rest of it's really good. Hello my lovelies, I am back. Please excuse the hair. I am about to go out, so I am just letting it marinade in its plaits. So I finished Scythe and Sparrow, finally. I'm going to give you my review. So I gave Scythe and Sparrow a 3.5 star. The only issue with this is halfway through, I was not in the mood for romance whatsoever. Which was a shame, because I'm going to say this now before I get into my review. This is not a bad book whatsoever. It's actually really, really good. I just was not in the mood for a romance. So to rate it harshly was quite harsh, I think, and I don't think it's fair. So my review, it was a little bit hit and miss for me, I will admit. but I really enjoyed the plot. I think that it was really entertaining and it moved in like a really good pace. Like it felt steady, there was no sort of standstill points. It all was really interesting and it was really entertaining. I really liked the characters. The only character, ironically, I didn't like was, oh god, what was her name? Rose. I didn't like Rose very much, but I will get to that. So I really liked Fionn. I think that he was funny. He felt really different, obviously, because he's part of the Kane brothers and she had to make that difference noticeable because they all have different professions and they all do different things, they have different personalities. So that was really obvious, and I loved the side characters. I think that they also had a really good character development, and I think that they were created really well as well, if you know what I mean. Like even the bad guys felt like they had depth and thought into it, you know. I really enjoyed, like, it's gonna sound really strange, but I really enjoyed the murder scenes, especially the last one. I think it was the last one. It was around like here, I think, or something. It was really fast paced and there was a lot of like running, chasing. It gave Terrifier. If any of you have ever seen the Terrifier movies, it was giving, I think it's the second one when they're in the circus, which I believe was the intention. So the intention was there, it was met, I understood it, and I really, really liked that, especially the fact that I've watched the films and I love the films. So that was really, really fun as well. So those were my positives. So the negatives, like I said, I don't want to be too harsh because this is only because I wasn't in the mood for romance halfway through. So I will just bear that in mind. I felt no spark between Rose and Fionn, which is a shame. I don't know whether it's because I wasn't in the right headspace, but I did not feel it. I felt that they were better off as friends and they never had that tension because all they did was like sleep with each other. And then the ending felt really cringe and really rushed. And I don't think for me that made me go, oh, yay! You know, so unfortunately that was a miss for me. I wasn't keen on Rose, which I mentioned just a minute ago. I don't know why she bugged me during this. I think maybe not, because I liked the other female characters in the series, but she felt exactly the same as the other characters. Like at the beginning I was thinking, oh, she's different. Like she goes and does this for a living and that's really fun, that's different, interesting. She felt different with her like tarot cards and stuff. And then she did that. If you've read the book, you'll know. And I was like, okay, she sounds a little bit stressed out about it. And then she goes and acts all like, oh well, can you come help me? And at this point, I'm like, okay, so now you do this all the time anyway. And now you just feel like every other character, like that I've read in the other books. You feel like Sloane, you feel like the other person, Lark. So I don't know, because when I read Leather and Lark and I saw Rose in that book, she felt really different. And she felt like a normal character who's just like friends with these psychopaths. And yeah, that's how I saw her. And I was like, okay, that's great. We've got a different, like, I know these books are all, you know, murder and dark romance, but I just thought that maybe we'd get like a dark, non-murdery girl or something. She just felt the same to me. For some reason, she bugged me, and I don't know why. And like I said, maybe because I just lost interest. So another big thing is I got to like the halfway point, and that's when the smut starts kicking in, by the way. And I was reading this the other day, and I was just reading 2 chapters worth, like literally from start to finish of 2 chapters, it was nothing but smut. And like, that's great for some of you, but I don't want to read, I mean, I'm fairly sure a lot of people don't want to read 2 chapters full of smut. It's too much in one go. Just do like a page, move on, and in the next chapter, if you want to do another smut scene, do another page of smut. Spread it out. We like it when you spread it out. because I got that bit and I just ended up skimming it. And I was like, I'm not interested at all. And then yesterday I got to, oh god, it was like this bit or something, and there was so much, and I was just like, I don't want to sit here for 10 minutes reading nothing but smut. Spread it out, and that'd be a lot better, you know? Authors, take note. Just saying. They're great, scenes are great, it's just too much in one go. And then after that, just like nothing smutty happens. And I think for me, that also really takes out the chemistry that you're trying to build up in order for us to go, yay, at the very end. Because you've not got that chemistry build up, and all you have is just scenes where they have smut and then nothing for so long, and then at the very end you cram it all in, all romantic and stuff, and you're trying to make us, I don't know, I just don't, it doesn't work that way for me. You have to let me know if you guys feel the same, because it doesn't work for me that way. You know what, other than that, I did really enjoy this to an extent. I think that the storyline was really good. It was a good book, and I'm sad I read it where I was bored with romance halfway through, but the series is really, really good. I think this is so far my favourite dark romance series that I have read so far. It's not massively dark, but I do enjoy it. They are funny, which I also really, really like. I love that dark humour, and I think that's why the second book will still be my favourite. I really, really enjoyed that one. The first one was also really good, but I got on with the second one way better, so yeah, basically. I'm glad I finished the series. If she does come out with any more, I will read them because I love her writing. And yeah, I'm just pleased I finally got through this. So this was a 3.5 star, which for me is average. I know that a lot of my ratings are quite low, but 3 is my average. That's the first book done in this video. Finally, I've been reading this for so long. I have already picked up my next book. Let me go get it for you. So like I said, I have already picked up my second book, which is Safe Enough by Lee Child. I have had this on my shelf since my London book shopping haul, which if you haven't seen that, go check that out. And I am really, really enjoying this so far. So if you haven't heard of this or you want to know what it's about, it's basically, I think it's a series of like 20 short stories. I'm really enjoying it so far. I am 73 pages in and I am annotating it. I don't know if you can even see that. And yeah, it's really, really good so far. I can't really give a rundown because they're all different short stories, and if I give a rundown of those, I'll just end up spoiling it. But I do recommend this if you want something quick, easy, short. They are really short, by the way, these short stories. So it's so fun to just quickly get through them and then move on. It feels really rewarding, but it's taking me a while because I am annotating them. So yeah, I've already started that one, and let's just get straight into the rest of it. Hello my lovelies, I have a reading update. So I finally finished Safe Enough by Lee Child. I really, really enjoyed this a lot more than I thought. I don't usually read short stories, so this does entail 20 short stories and I think it's 268 pages. I did end up annotating it. It was really, really fun to annotate, so it took me a lot longer to read. I probably would have had this finished in like a day or two, and it took me 4, I think, because I was annotating it, but I'm really glad I did because it was just fun, and his storytelling was so gripping and entertaining, so I really, really enjoyed that. I gave this a 4 star, which is very high compared to a lot of the ratings on Fable and Goodreads. A lot of them are sort of 3, so I don't know why, but I want to say it's because this was perfect book, perfect time. I was like sort of getting out of a slump still a little bit, so it's really handy having 20 short stories because each story felt like rewarding when you finished it, and it felt really refreshing moving on to the next one. Perfect book, perfect time. I was in the mood for this. Each short story contains aspects of crime, so whether that's murder, whether that's to do with drugs, whether that's to do with fraudery, things like that. Like, it all contained crime, and for some reason I was in the mood for crime. I don't know what this book is actually like posed as. Is it crime? Either way, it comes across as crime. Actually, it is crime. I did like his characters a lot. I really enjoyed the main character in each of these. Well, main characters, they're supposed to be different characters. I did enjoy that, but I think at some point they did sort of feel the same in each, because each one was crime related. They each sort of blended and sort of felt a little bit the same. Some of them didn't. Some of them were actually really well created and really well done, considering the little amount of pages he had for each story. He managed to pack in a lot of depth, which was really, really good. And yeah, I really liked that. I love great characters in books. If books have great characters, I'm immediately going to give it a higher rating, because I'm all for character driven stories, and these were very, very character driven. A little bit of it felt kind of waffly at times, but I think that was in order to get that depth that he needed to info dump, because otherwise you wouldn't get through it because they're so short. So yeah, the twists at times were a little samey. I think there was like 3 at the beginning that were like, you know, sort of roll your eyes kind of, oh, okay, of course it is, you know. But it was still fun. I still liked how we got there. That was still really fun. So I'm not going to complain about that too much. Some of them I didn't quite get. I don't know whether I was missing something. I don't know whether I need to revisit some of them. But it felt like there was meant to be like a, oh, factor. And some of them I didn't quite get that. So we'll see. I don't know how people don't enjoy this. This was really different to me and just gripping. I don't know why I enjoyed this so much. I mean, like I said, perfect book, perfect time, and I can understand that maybe a lot of people aren't into this, and I don't know. I have never read anything of Lee Child's before, and a lot of his stuff apparently are to do with, I can't remember his name, is it like, oh, Reacher, that's it, Reacher. And they said that this was very different and actually more fun. So I don't know whether to read any more of his books. I don't know if they're going to be the same sort of style of writing, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. So that's the second book done. We are going to move on to our third. I am deciding to pick up The Last Blood Carver. This has been on my shelf, I don't know, maybe a year. It's a little chunky, but it is YA, and the writing is tiny. It looks so small, but the margins are quite big, so we'll see. YA might fly through it. I hope so. I don't know whether I'm in the mood for a fantasy yet. Oh well, romantasy, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like I'm in the mood for what this is. So we shall see. We will see. Let's just pray it doesn't get me into another reading slump. Hello, so I am 52 pages into The Last Blood Carver. I didn't know whether I wanted to get into a romantasy or not. I was sort of leaning towards a thriller, but the mood I'm in was sort of what this book gave. So this book is basically, I'll give the summary for you. Nika is seen as a monster who kills for pleasure, and her gift is highly praised in the city's criminal underworld. When Nika is finally captured, she is sold to the highest bidder, but her mysterious buyer is not looking for an assassin. She needs Nika to heal the only witness to her father's murder. Nika vows to hunt down the killer, and all signs point to Ven Cochin, an alluring yet entitled physician's aide. But Nika can't help feeling drawn to his shadowy and opulent world, and soon finds herself fighting for her life and for the future of her own kind. So I'm sort of in the mood for that, sort of like the criminal underworld, blah de blah, stuff like that. So I thought this would be really fun to get into. This has been on my shelf for a really long time now. It is a YA fantasy, so I thought it would be easy to get into,
easy world building. There's no smart like the beginning of this video because I'm still not in the mood for that. So I got into it, and it just reminds me like how little I lean towards fantasy. Hear me out. A lot of people say that romance books are like exactly the same as each other. I get that. I really do. That's fair. But I also feel the same about fantasy. Romance, you have different tropes and different things. For example, you've got like hockey romance, F1 romance, you've got mafia romance, you have all sorts of different romance. Yeah, okay, you get the same sort of like vibes of touch her and you die sort of tropes, you know, but you can do it in different ways. Fantasy, I find, is always the same. I don't know whether it's just me, but every single fantasy I have read so far starts off with a girl in rags and she's really poor, and then she's running from the bad guys, and then she gets caught by the bad guys, and then they try to give her a bath and like clean her up, and she's like, no, I don't want it. And she's so cocky, and it just feels the same, and I don't like that. It's boring. It doesn't grip me. So unfortunately, the first like 2 to 3 chapters of this was literally that. So I was not having high hopes. I was getting really scared because I don't want to get back into a slump, and I really want to finish this. I want to read it. I want it off my shelf. I want to sit through because there's so many good reviews on Fable. So I gave it a bit of a chance. I've gotten to 52, like page 52, and it's getting better. So I thought I'd come on and just share my first thoughts of this, which I was so close to like DNFing. But I think so far, because we've just met the brothers of the bidder, so I'm hoping from now on we get into the criminal underworld part of it, and that will be really interesting. That's what I'm in the mood for, because I've just found myself skimming so far, which is really sad. I hate skimming books, but this is not... I've read this before. I have read this so many times before, and I'm not interested in reading the same story. So now I've gotten past that bit. Fingers crossed it goes well, because this book is... How long is this book? 369 pages. So I better get through it. It is going quick because it is a YA book, and the writing is really small. Like, it's actually hurting my eyes. I wear glasses, and even that is too small for me. And the margins are big though, so it's going quick, but yeah, wish me luck, because I think I'm getting to the good part. Okay, I'm sorry, I have come back on real quick. Tell me your biggest bookish icks when it comes to reading, because I certainly know mine. And 50 million of mine have already happened so far. I'm sorry to come back on, but I'm literally like 68% pages of the way through, and they've literally given her the nicest stuff, and she's like,
don't like it. I miss my like worn tunics. I'm not used to all of this.
And they've given her like toiletries and everything. She's not using them. And she has makeup, and she's like,
do I put makeup on? Do I dare do it? No. I love how disgusting I look. It's great. I am not gonna lie to myself.
I'll literally tell you what she said. Sorry, I just have to. I honestly... Mimi had given her a pair of matching gloves, wrist length. These Nika ignored. After she had showered and changed, she felt like an imposter looking in the mirror. She looked over Mimi's makeup and almost considered it, powdering her cheeks and pinning up her hair and lining her lips red, but she left herself in this quasi-aristocratic state, afraid that doing anything more would cement the lie in her heart. Girl, grow up hair. Grow a pair of gloves. Pick me at her finest. Biggest bookish ick. Hello my lovelies, I have an update. So I have finally finished The Last Blood Carver. Unfortunately, this was not a hit for me. Honestly, I don't know what this video is. The first book was not a hit, second book was great. This did not go great. So I have given this a 2-star. I am really disappointed. I was really looking forward to this book. I just don't think it was really for me. So I found quite a lot of this really waffly. Like there were parts where she'd go to the library and read through books and whatever. Just felt way too waffly for me. It didn't need to go on as much as it did. I found myself skimming quite a lot of it, which is a shame. I did listen to a bit of it on audiobook when I was going to and from my nan's house, and even then it was way too waffly. I found myself zoning out, clocking out. It was a bit disappointing, and I found the plot to be quite thin, which really sucks. I don't know why, but it didn't feel like there was much to it. I thought the concept was really cool, and I think the base of what this story was telling was really good. Like the whole crime underworld thing, I thought that was really entertaining, and I think the base there was perfect. I loved the idea of this. The blurb was really enticing, but I don't think the execution was quite there, in my opinion. I know it's meant to be a YA book, and I think that might be why it's not quite for me. I love YA books. I don't mind reading the odd cutesy YA book every now and then, but I think there's a limit, and I think that this was way too YA for me. I don't know. I haven't read a YA book in quite a long time, so I don't know whether that's just maybe my preferences changing, but it did feel really YA, and I think that's why the execution wasn't fulfilled as much as I was expecting. And I think that the base was great, but I think maybe if this was in more of an adult book, maybe I would have enjoyed it a bit more. But needless to say, I really enjoyed all the characters in this, funny enough, even the main character, which is rare for me these days, as we know. But yeah, I really enjoyed all the characters. I thought that they were created really well, and they all felt really different. Yeah, the characters were the strongest part of the book, I will say that, because the plot wasn't quite there, but the characters made up for it, so they were the strongest part of the book. Oh yeah, the romance between the characters. The main character and the other person, the romance between them felt really forced. It was like an enemies to lovers, but the enemies to lovers part happened like, it didn't slide as nicely as it's supposed to. It didn't give you that hit that it usually does, so that was really annoying. When the romance towards the end was becoming more of a romance, it was better there. I could see the chemistry a bit more, but when it was sliding between the two, it was not quite how you'd expect, which is a shame, but did hit at the end, which is really good. And I loved the magic system. I also think that was really cool. The whole blood carver thing, I thought that was interesting for sure. I just think, like I said, there was so much there to play with, but I don't think that it was, that sounds so wrong. I was going to say it wasn't played with enough, but it just, like I said, the execution wasn't quite there. I don't know whether it's because it's a YA book and I can't do much, but maybe if anyone could suggest an adult book that has this vibe. But if anyone has any adult books that they could recommend that's very similar to this, drop them in the comments and I will love to check them out, because I think this was just too YA for me, which is a shame. So yeah, this was the last book in this reading vlog, which was a 2-star. I got through 3 books on my TBR. Not much space has been cleared, but we are slowly getting through them, which is really good, because I will be doing a massive haul at some point, like a book shopping video at some point in the future this year, so stay tuned to that. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and do subscribe to see more bookish content. I do have my Goodreads, my Fable and my Instagram checked out in the description below, so do go check those out when you are not reading. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you stayed this far, thank you very much, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye!